Thank you. Here we go. Okay, Shalom Ubracha. Thank you for having me here. It's funny, 2 years ago, I was there the same parsha, so I could technically speak about the same thing. You guys weren't here 2 years ago, but we will at least connect whatever can be connected. This is a parsha of zivugim, of marriage partners, Yitzchak Avinu getting Rivka and everything. So there is a wealth of teachings from Rabbi Nachman and Rav Nosson on marriage and on shidduchim and everything. Once Rav Nosson said, if he would have wanted to speak about what goes on between husband and wife, he would have had to double his Likutei Halachot that he wrote, which is 8 volumes, to make it 16 volumes, okay? Because it's a roller coaster experience. Nonetheless, Rav Nosson, he gives us a big opening on the secrets of marriage. This will be a bit deep, and we're going to try to pack it in as much as we can in about 25 minutes, some yesodot. And when this gets established, there's room more for knowing how to handle difficult situations in a home and possibly better chances for Shalom Bayit, B'ezrat Hashem, okay? So he says like this, Rabbi Nachman, and with Rav Nosson's interpretation in his book, Likutei Halachot, he says that the purpose of man in this world is to perceive what's called the infinite light. Mankind, Hashem infused society with a drive to advance. Mankind doesn't just sit down and do nothing and just watch the bumblebees and the trees and everything. Hashem made it that man wants to do something. There's a drive to go ahead. It's expressed in work, in business, in Torah, in mitzvot. A person has a drive to have accomplishment, not just to sit down and do nothing. This comes, Rabbi Nachman explains, and the Zohar explains this, that there is the infinite light shining itself hiddenly to mankind, and this light is attracting. It pushes the person to want to run after it. The person doesn't know where it is because it's infinite. So that means I don't see it, I don't have access to it, because we, by definition, are finite, we're limited, we're constricted, and it's two opposites. This is infinite light, and we're finite. So this infinite light shines itself indirectly into the world, and mankind has this drive to advance. The thing is like this, that Hashem wants us to not just to run after. The wording of the Zohar, by the way, is like this: Redifa de machshava lemirdaf abatre. It's the way of the mind of a human being to run after this light. When we say human being, we mean mainly, of course, the Yidden, the Jews, of course, right? That it's the way of a tendency of a person to run after this light, even though he doesn't reach it. I'm running after something that I can't reach. It's like way up here, but because I feel its presence, I am going upwards, but I can never reach it. Why can I never reach it? Because if a person does connect to this infinite light, he will simply disappear or vanish. Because I am, by definition, finite. It's 180 degrees opposite what's infinite, and I'm finite. These are two different directions, okay? So we have this drive to perceive it, yet there has to be what's called a blockage. The Zohar calls it a prisa. It's like a wall, a rubber wall, if you want to call, that when a person is succeeding in whatever he's doing in life, in his pursuit, and he's going up and up and up and up, we know already that life can't just work out fine and dandy, that everything is good. Because everything is just good, what will happen then? The person will keep on going up and up and up and up. He will hit this wall, he will merge with the infinite light and just disintegrate. If things are too good in life, we see that a person has a crash. So what Hashem designed is a type of wall that prevents a person from reaching his achievements. He has setbacks and failures and obstacles, whatever you want to call them, that bounce a person back. This is done purposely to help a person in his pursuit even more. The trick is how you accept this bounce. The way you accept this bounce back will determine your continual success in advancing in your pursuit, whatever it is. Because this bounce back actually creates, Rabbi Nachman teaches, kelim, vessels that now being bounced back, and I've now making a type of an existence by being bounced, because I'm finite, I'm trying to pursue something which is infinite. They're preventing me, min hashamayim, to advance more. I have a bounce, which comes in the format that this didn't work out or that didn't work out, and this is not happening. Things are not working out like planned. So this bounce pushing me back to my area helps me to make vessels that if they're built properly, this will serve as a conduit to receive even more light, even though I'm finite, to have infinite light in my personal life, Bezat Hashem. He teaches Rabbi Nachman, the main key to have these vessels strong is that a person maintains what's called simcha, okay? Simcha is an attribute that a person, that's his barometer measurement if he's fit to receive rulership. Rabbi Nachman has a story, he has many stories. It's called the 13 tales of Rabbi Nachman, Sipur Masiot. In the last story, which is called the tale of the 7 beggars, the story begins with an introduction of a king who in his lifetime, he gave over his kingdom to his son, the prince. He made him king in his lifetime. And the king said to his son like this, I foresee with astrology that you are going to lose your kingship. You're going to lose it. Now, if you maintain to still be happy when losing your kingship, your kingdom, I will be happy with you. And if now you become broken and are not happy with the situation, I will still be happy because you're not fitting to receive the kingship. So it's learned out from the story, the commentators explain, this is what builds a person to see if he's fit to receive melucha. Melucha is Hashem's gift to mankind to have an accomplishment, to have an advancement, because Hashem really wants everyone to succeed. Hashem loves everybody, the real truth. Hashem loves people. He wants you to succeed, but your personal success should be in line with Hashem's success, which is his goodness being spread into the world. That's why Hashem created the world. The Zohar says, begin the Hashem created the world that he should be made known. What does it mean that Hashem be made known? His goodness, that people should realize Hashem is a creator and he's benevolent and he's loving. He's not someone who's tough and burning in hell and this and that. Hashem is the opposite. Hashem is someone good and he wants this good to be revealed in the world, okay? So now, a finite being tapping into the infinite light, two opposites, vessels are needed. Vessels can only be made if a person bounces back. And if the person realizes that this bounce back is only a stepping stone to propel him to the highest levels that he didn't even imagine. I hope this is okay. It's soft. Whatever.
The issue is the stream now.
It comes in. Okay, sorry about that. Always try to do best of things. Something has to pop up. You see, this is the bounce. That's why Nissim Black wrote a song, The Motherland Bounce. You know this song, The Motherland Bounce? Okay. All right, so we'll continue. So with this bounce and accepting it b'simcha, a person then is propelled to be able to shine something which doesn't make sense. To shine the infinite light, which is Or. By the way, Or, Gematria 207, right? Aleph is 1, Vav 6, Resh is 200. That's exact Gematria as Ein Sof, the infinite light. Ein Sof is Gematria 207 exactly. To show us that anything which is light in this world is not coming from this world. We have appreciation of good in this world. It's only coming from the Ein Sof. That's why Hashem's light has to be shine into the world to give people an appreciation of Hashem's goodness in this world, okay? So this is how mankind is designed. He's expected to bounce back, to accept it, to build vessels, to be happy with them, by being happy and making these vessels through his simcha. This enables him to go even higher in life. So the down is really what's called the Yeridah, the Tzorach Aliyah, it's a down to go up further, okay? Rav Nosson takes all this and shows this is the secret of marriage and the secret of procreation. The idea of procreation, the idea that Hashem made it, that we have this mitzvah to be fruitful and multiply. What's this whole thing? Every time another Jew comes into the world, it's another bit of chokhmah. It's an additional piece of wisdom a human being will have in his capacity to tap into true chokhmah, which is the wisdom of Hashem, and reveal it into the world. But it has to come in this format that it's not just plain chokhmah. Judaism is not just, okay, I'm going to finish Shas and Shulchan Aruch and learn until I'm a big shot. That's not Judaism. Judaism is, I learn Torah, I learn mitzvot, I immerse myself in Hashem's wisdom, and On top of all that, I'm faced with a test, and the test.
Paul stopped the stream, so now it's replaying. It's been sometimes when you finish.
Got it. Okay, that's it. That's not. The way Hashem made a human being is that he has this capacity to have chokhmah, but in it that he can connect and reveal the Or Ein Sof. So that means in the makeup of man, there has to be this going upwards, chokhmah, 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 and the bounce back. So the representation of the chokhmah is the father, the male, where the man's pursuit is to advance and advance and advance, okay? And the female aspect, believe it or not, is the bounce back, okay? Fits in nicely. That the man is intent is to go up one step, another step, advance, advance, advance. And the wife is there to help that this man should go even higher levels. But the only way for this man to reach higher levels is if he has the bounce back. And this is the nitty-gritty, the relationship between husband and wife. The man wants one way, and the wife saying, no, we have to do like this. But I have to do this. I'll do this. No, we need you at home now. We have to do this. You have to clean the floor. You have to do babysitting, change the diapers. This is forming kelim in order to advance. Now, the child who's born from this combination is a child who will have his capacity to advance. And also when faced with bounces in life backwards, that he can now build kelim that will develop him to go even further. So with this in mind, when you see this, there's no room for a person to be upside down and upset when there's issues at home, that the husband wants one thing and the wife wants another thing, and there's bouncing back and forth. She didn't let me do this, I didn't do that, I'm not happy about it, there's no shalom bayit because I want my way, I'm trying to serve Hashem in this way. But the wife is normally the barometer measurement for the husband to show him where there's a time now you're ready to get into a big jackpot in life. If now you bounce back now, you will create kelim that will advance you so much higher in life to receive the infinite light, something you didn't expect. Because again, Judaism is not about just going up and up and up and up and up. It's going up, but now when I've reached a certain level, which is a maximum level, and now I'm ready to get really higher, the only way to connect to what's really higher is if there's a bounce backwards. This is the secret of the idea of the husband and wife in marriage, okay, in the relationship like that. This is hinted to in the parsha, believe it or not. Rabbi Nachman goes into this parsha, it's what I said 2 years ago, I'm going into it again, but in this format, that when Eliezer was sent by Avraham Avinu to find a marriage partner, a shidduch for Yitzchak. So Eliezer had a worry. His worry was, what if she doesn't want to follow me? You're sending me now all the way to the land of Lavan to try to find a marriage partner for Yitzchak. And what if she doesn't want to follow me to come back to Eretz Yisrael to marry? So Avraham Avinu said his words, Ve'im lo toveha isha lalechet acharecha, ve'nikita mishvati u'me'alati. And if she doesn't want to follow you, so the oath that I made you, Eliezer, my servant, take, you're now exempt from it totally. Rabbi Nachman points out something very deep. He says, if you look at the first letters of this pasuk, at least the first words, ve'im lo, that's vav, ve'im, lo is lamed. In the middle, you have what's called toveh ha'isha. The woman will want, in this case, Rivka, she'll want to follow you to marry Yitzchak. Lalechet is lamed, and acharecha is aleph. So he points out, Rabbi Nachman, it spells out the letters of the word Elul. What's Elul? He teaches Rabbi Nachman that Elul is all connected in the famous acronym that makes up Elul, which is Ani Ledodi, Vedodi Li. He teaches that Ani Ledodi is when I'm in the Chokhmah mode. Ani Ledodi, I'm able to do. In the case of a Jew, for example, wants to come closer to Hashem, I'm able to get up in the morning and daven and learn my daf yomi and learn halacha and to do. I'm Ani Ledodi, I'm doing for Hashem, I'm doing mitzvah for Hashem. But there's also the second mode, that Vedodi Li, when Hashem now wants to reach out to you to shine you a higher level, this infinite light. So you can't be in the same mode of Ani Ledodi, I'm doing. In order to receive, you have to be in receiving mode, which means a bounce backwards, okay? So he teaches Rabbi Nachman, this is the idea of the secret meditations of the month of Elul, which is knowing how to handle the going upwards and then the bounce back. This combination together causes the middle words, Toveh Ha'isha. The woman will want. In other words, there will be Shalom Bayit Bezat Hashem when a man is able to master knowing when to go forward and knowing when to have the bounce back. Okay, this is hinted to in this week's parsha. This is possibly the biggest musar. I remember I had a friend in Toronto, and he divorced very early, unfortunately, after having 2-3 kids. And he once confided in me, and he said, you know how it all started? It started, he was about tshuva, through Eshet Torah, and eventually with Breslev. And he was getting excited, you know, every day going to daven mincha and Maariv in a shul. And his wife, not being so frum, one day she said to him, you know, I want you to daven home today. I want you to stay home and pray. I want you to be here close by. So he said, but I have to daven in the minyan. I have to daven. I have to go daven in shul. And he insisted. There's halacha. Yes, halacha of daven in the minyan. But she's calling out saying there's a blockage here to help advance further. He said he didn't listen to her call. She was trying to tell him something, that there's something deeper here. There's an opportunity now for you to go up higher. I'm sent to you to push you back. He forced it. He didn't listen to her. It was a bitterness, and it built up until things broke, and it didn't work out. He wanted one way to advance, and it was justified. After daven the minyan, Shulchan Aruch, halacha, I have to advance, I have to do. But at the same time, the wife is there to show when is the bounce back. The balance between them is the whole thing in marriage. That when I'm able, at one hand, to advance, I have my sedarim, I have my life in trying to be a Jew, trying to make things work out. But there are those opportunities where Hashem is hinting to me, I'm now ready for something much bigger. But the only way to get to this thing much bigger is that there has to be a pushback. And this pushback is reflected in all the obstacles and setbacks and miniot and everything that a person is facing when now trying to pursue and he's being told to push back. It's difficult. It's hard because it's 2 different gear shifts. One gear shift is I'm going, and now I'm told to stop and go backwards. You know, it's like in the laws of kasherizing vessels. There's Hagalat Kelim. Hagalat Kelim is that if now I have a vessel that was meat, I will make it now dairy. Okay, so you put it in boiling water. While it's being boiled in the water, so it's in the mode of plita. It's being polet. It's now letting out any traces of like meat particles that are trapped in the lining of the metal pan, whatever, they come out. While it's being polet, it can absorb at the same time. If you're now busy letting out, it can be bolea, because you would think if now the particles of meat are being let out in the boiling water, do we worry that maybe now it'll reabsorb the meat particles from the boiling water back into the keli? So the halakha says no. When you're in the process of plita, you can't do blia at the same time. So too, in this challenge of being a man, of trying to advance, trying to figure out what Hashem wants of me, and I'm going towards that direction, and there's this advancement, and Hashem built me in that way that I'm meant to advance, but there's that time when I face this bounce to bounce back, and it's not easy, because there's 2 opposites. I'm on the drive to go forward, and I'm being told to go backwards. What do you want from me? So here, Rabbi Nachman reveals, this is the secret of what's going to build you up more than anything else. If you know how to accept this bounce, besimcha, he teaches, you take it with joy, and that's the whole prerequisite, by the way. In order to take a bounce in life, besimcha, you already have to have a prerequisite of being besimcha. Like he said in the story, when you have your kingship, I will be happy. Like the king in the story that we just mentioned earlier. And if it's taken away from you, you'll still maintain the happiness. I will be happy. But if you're not, I will also be happy, Hashem says. Because you're showing that you're not fit for the melucha. The melucha is when a person is able to maintain when up and when down. For this reason, Rabbi Nachman stresses that a person should always strive to be besimcha, be in a happy mentality, a happy attitude, so that